funnily enough, we had my family had a couple drivers that were yabancı like over the years, and it was the number one method to get out of parking tickets or just like
Really?
just tickets. Like the cop would pull you over and say like, Türkçe bilmiyorum, and he's just like, no, okay, whatever, go.
Eren, why don't you introduce yourself?
So I'm a YouTuber at the moment. I do video game analysis content. I'm a half Turk, half yabancı living in Istanbul.
You had a hard time accepting that, I guess. You're like, half Turk,
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely, blood-wise, I'm half Turk, but I'm more yabancı than Turk, definitely.
You don't speak Turkish very much.
No, not really.
I see. So let's start. Let's start mentioning our friend on this episode. If you guys might not know, but Eren is a very close friend of Aylin.
Yes.
So, do you have any comment on Aylin?
Love Aylin. She's great. She's
Because
absolutely great.
You were saying very different
Absolutely
things.
great. She's great. I love Aylin. She's great.
Sure? Look at the camera and says you love Aylin.
She's great. I love you, Aylin. No, seriously, though, I love you.
All right, great, wonderful. I'm surprised. But anyway, so let's start with your story. Your childhood, you were in Istanbul.
So early childhood, I was in London, living with my mom, and at age 9, I moved here to live with my dad. Mm-hmm. And I started going to international school. I mean, growing up in London, that's why I speak English. And then since I went to international school, since my family spoke English, all my friends spoke English, I never really learned Turkish.
Yeah, that's one of the things, one of the reasons I wanted to ask Eren to come around was because he had this story with Istanbul. He had crazy Istanbul lifestyle, Istanbul as a teenager, I guess.
would not have wanted to grow up anywhere else. Easy.
Right?
Easy, yeah. Istanbul was wonderful.
So can you break it down to us? Why?
It felt free. It was a really cool environment. People were very real with you, you know?
What year are we talking about?
Let's say like 13, 14 is the year I started is the age I started like going out into the city more with my friends and interacting with just people and meeting people. And yeah, in other cities, I don't think you could do that at age 13, 14, at least at the level that we were doing it, you know, just walking around, going into places that usually would have a ID check.
What kind of places are we talking about?
Nargile bars or like the occasional club.
I really hope kids don't watch this.
No, you shouldn't do that. I regret all of it, but
you don't.
Absolutely not. But yeah, just walking around Ortaköy or Taksim and just getting into mischief and trouble. It felt like I started living. That sounds cringe, but I started living a lot earlier than I would imagine would have happened in London. I think it wouldn't have been nearly as, what's the right word? Nearly as deep, I guess, or as organic, I guess.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. And you guys had this community in Göktürk, like you were like a bunch of kids in Göktürk.
There was,
because you're Aylin's childhood friend.
Yes, she. So there was a international-ish community in Göktürk. A lot of the people from the 3 big international schools, British, MEF, and IICS, which is the one I went to. There was a fair amount of them in Göktürk, but people were spread all over the place. But Göktürk was definitely a hub. I think I was a large contributing factor towards that. A lot of people would come to my house all the time.
What, you were throwing parties or something?
Maybe.
Do your parents know about this?
Oh yeah. Right. No, they helped facilitate.
Just the government doesn't know about this.
No.
All right.
No,
now they do.
Oh God, yeah. No, past a certain point in high school when it was a bit more age appropriate to be partying and going out. Yeah, I threw some pretty insane parties. It was fun.
You say insane parties.
Yeah. Have you watched Project X?
I have not.
It's a movie about a house party.
Okay.
The parents leave and this dude's just like, yeah, let's just do a house party. And then it goes off the wall. It goes insane. And me and my friends watched that and we're like, oh my God, that's so cool.
Let's do that.
And literally, we just did that. My parents were out of town for one day and we're just like, let's invite people. And we invited like 20 people, like 75 people turned up. And it was
75 people in Göktürk.
75 people in my garden in Göktürk. And we were like, that was awesome. I told my dad and my parents, like, yo, so this happened while you were gone. It was really fun. Can we do it again? And so it became like an annual tradition. And
really?
Yeah, it just kept getting bigger and bigger each year.
Wow.
And like pulled out all the stops. We had bartenders. I had a bouncy castle. Like,
wow, man. Do you guys still do that?
No. Like the sad thing about growing up in an international community is that once you hit college, everyone flies away. Everyone's all over the world right now. So it's hard to keep your friend group.
That's super weird for me as well. Like I'm talking these days, I talk to my friends and I literally need to have time zones.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so my friend in Paris, another friend of South Africa, another friend of mine, Caribbean Islands, you know, like everywhere, all around the world. That's what happens when people age.
Absolutely. Like I've got my homies in most of my friends are in America at the moment. And it's like, that's a bit of a time difference.
Yeah.
Especially like half of them are in LA, and like that's kind of like the worst time difference you could possibly have. It's really annoying.
I see. So when you go back in time, one of those significant signature memories of Istanbul you can think of?
Oh, that's an interesting question. It's mostly like it's down to wandering, honestly. It's down to wandering around the city, maybe under the influence of something, but probably not. But, and just seeing that happens and just hearing the noises and just random stuff happening. I remember like I was, this is like 13. I was going to someone's house with my friends and he lived in Ortaköy. We were just like wandering around. And then we just like, oh, what's going on over here? Oh, that's a drug deal. We're watching a drug deal. That's cool.
Oh, wow.
And then the police come and we're just like, okay.
Oh, are you serious? Like the whole thing is happening right in front of you.
Yeah, and we're just like, popcorn. And then we hear a gunshot and we're like, no. And then we all just start running.
Where was this place?
It was Ortaköy.
Ortaköy?
Yeah, like not like by the water, you know, a couple minutes walk, like
Tarlabaşı of Ortaköy.
Yeah. If you know where the Krispy Kreme is, it was like kind of close to Krispy Kreme. And so, yeah, we all start running and then it's just like, we probably shouldn't be running. This looks really sus, but like it's too late. We've committed to it now.
Nice one.
And then, yeah, just getting into trouble. It's funny how many incidents that we were able to get ourselves out of with authorities just by saying yabancı. Like, I don't know, man.
Can you give me one of the examples? Like, what happened?
Like a friend of mine was idiot rolling weed on the street. Like, just do that inside, man. But
not you, but a friend of you.
Yeah, and police saw him, caught him, and he was just like yabancı. My dad, diplomat, and they're just like, yeah, whatever. They just left us.
I see. So that was something that you could actually use. I guess that it's not the same anymore. If you say yabancı, yabancı, get him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They'll come down harder on you. But
something about Istanbul. It's history of Istanbul, I would say.
Yeah.
It kind of changed, I guess.
Maybe. I've got to say that my excursions out into the city and just my time wandering around has definitely dried up a lot more since most of my friends are gone, and then obviously COVID. I turned into a basement dwelling video game addicted rat, and I didn't go outside. So like every time I go,
definition.
Yeah, every time I go out to Turkey, drive around Istanbul, I'm like, man, has changed, but I don't.
Do you like the change?
Huh?
Do you like the change that happened?
Yes and no, in some ways. The biggest change that I'm not a fan of is where I live, Göktürk. It was, like, when I was born, it was a dirt road. There was nothing. It was a dirt road with a water buffalo, and projects started being developed there. And it started, you know, golf club with some houses, a residence, and then some shops, some restaurants, some whatnot. And now it's like, it's packed. Over the years, just another residence gets added, 2 more restaurants, 3 more stores, and now what used to be a much more like natural area where no matter where you were, you could look and you could see green, you could see into the distance. It's just Nişantaşı now. Like, you can't see anything. It's just buildings everywhere. And I'm not a huge fan of that. Although, I gotta say, it's really impressive. I don't think I've seen anything like this anywhere else, where all of this in 20 years.
Wow.
like, or 25 years. Like, so much development over such a short span of time. It's quite insane. And yeah, I have a feeling that most areas in Istanbul are probably going to
Pretty much the same, to be
go
honest.
through that. Yeah, exactly. Like the next one is Zakiryaköy. Like right now, it's a lot more like what Kemer Göktürk used to be. I'm sure in like 20 years, it's gonna have a mall.
Yeah,
or some
20
shit.
years? Wow, it's definitely going to change. It's going to turn to something robotic, I guess. Because,
sure.
like, I moved here 2017, and nothing is the same. We used to, I used to be Kadıköy. Kadıköy used to be the cool place. Very quiet, very relaxed. Now Kadıköy is packed. Over the weekend, you cannot even walk in Kadıköy anymore.
Yeah.
So it's just, these cities keep changing. But I don't know if it's the essence of Istanbul. I mean, was it always like that throughout the history? Or is it the time we are living in?
It's very hard to say. I'm not sure, but I think there is something to that. The idea that it's just the essence of Istanbul. Like we're always moving forward, we're always growing, we're always getting bigger. That's kind of that does track to me.
Yeah. Then you moved out of Istanbul. Like what year was it?
For
How old were you?
university, 2015.
You went to that.
I went to Occidental College in Los Angeles.
The liberal one?
Yes. Yeah,
Could you please tell the audience what you experienced with liberalism?
So I consider myself a pretty liberal guy. I went to a liberal arts college in California, which is the most liberal. I don't even know if I'd call it liberal, but it's the most intensely liberal place
Radical liberal.
on earth. Yes, radical liberal. And, we're all acquainted with the, pronouns and everything on Twitter. Just I'm he, her.
He, her.
He, her.
No.
He, him.
He, him.
But,
she, her. They, them.
But like this was in 2015. Like this was not widespread at the moment, but that in school there, that's where I got introduced to it. And I was just like,
that was like 2015.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a first session.
Yeah, first day. They're teaching you how to introduce yourself to each other.
And what did they say?
I'll just say, like, how you introduce, you've got to go by their preferred pronouns. I don't even know what that means at this point. I'm just like, I'm sorry, what? So yeah, it was a big learning curve while I was there. And it was a very interesting environment. It had a lot of incredibly progressive ideas.
Like what?
Just what's mainstream leftism now? Like it just had all of that
It
before
started
it became
back
mainstream.
in time in 2015
Exactly,
in your college, and now it's out.
Yeah, before it became super mainstream, it was. I'm sure you're aware of it, and you know what's up. My college was woke. It was very, very woke, and yeah, it was interesting because I felt I could not express myself very much, and because some of my friends were really, really quite cool about it. Like they knew, like, okay, you don't know any of this shit. So they were like taught me about it. They were telling me the reasoning behind a lot of it. But then, of course, I don't agree with some of it, and so I would get into arguments. And when it came to those points of disagreement, that's not something I felt I could ever raise in class without everyone just turning to you and just like, oh, okay. So
can you tell us some of the memories you had, some of the funny, interesting moments you had with them? Weird moments.
Like I got into this huge argument with someone about cultural appropriation.
Okay.
And I personally, at the time I was a musician, I was a rapper, and so it's not really possible for me to be against cultural appropriation if I'm rapping. I'm just like, rapping was the thing that made me happiest at the time, lyricism and all of that. Rap helped me out so much. And I was just like, the idea that I can't be able to do this because it's not my culture, that's I don't know.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was a big argument that kind of went nowhere. And just little instances like that throughout.
Like the day Trump got elected.
Oh yeah, that was quite funny. So the day Trump got elected, classes were cancelled because everyone was too sad. I just thought that I thought that was really funny.
Such a liberal location.
Like you could feel it in the air. You go outside, everyone's depressed.
Crying.
And I was I was not too concerned with it. I understood the fears and the apprehension. I was just like, yeah, this dude doesn't really look like he's fit to be a world leader. Absolutely. And can go wrong probably, but let's wait and see. But like, we had a test, man. We had a test that day. I would studied for that test. No, sorry, class is canceled. Like, we're too sad. And I'm just like, I'm not sad. Can I do the test?
Can I take the test?
I just studied last night, man. But yeah, and that attitude was quite widespread throughout the college, and I felt that was very odd. That was the kind of, when I thought college, stricter than high school in a way. Like, you're going to be doing more work. There's not going to be any excuses, any of that. Absolute bull. Just tell the teacher you're sad. And they're just like, okay, you can take an extra week. And like, just
oh my gosh.
There was one game design class with a professor called Adam, who's absolute sweetheart. I love that guy. People were coming into class and someone was like looking sad and he's just like, what's up? The creator of SpongeBob died. And he was just like, okay, wait, no, is that important? Is that a thing? Do you guys like not want to do class today? Like, he was like, he realized like, oh shit, no, I should take this seriously. I should be sensitive. And I'm just like, I said, no, it's fine. We're good.
Shut up, guys.
I mean, R.I.P.
The creator of SpongeBob dies.
You get a day off class. Come on, man. You're sad.
Gosh.
But, like, R.I.P. SpongeBob is wonderful. I love that show.
Like, with in Middle East, things work out pretty much differently. Your whole family dies and still you go to work.
Yeah, exactly.
And still they ask you like, "Yo, Yani, we are paying you, Yani. Come to work."
Yeah, but the creator of SpongeBob died, man. I can't do this.
Nice. One thing from where we stand in the Middle East and we look at American culture, we see is exaggeration. It's just too much exaggeration in everything, right or left.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is
radicalism?
What is the reason?
Or no, not radicalism. Fanaticism is, I think, like the defining trait of America.
Yeah.
Everyone is fanatics. Like, you look at
something.
Yeah, something. Like, you look at TV shows and video games, and the most fanatic fans, fanatics, are in America. It's not super common that we have, like here, that we have conventions where people dress up as anime characters or like video game characters. But in America, that's pretty common. That happens multiple times a year. And you go outside, you're going to see something, you're going to see something extra, I guess.
Exactly. Why is that? Why is it so exaggerating everything? Is it the freedom? Is it the culture?
I think it's the freedom.
Understanding of freedom?
I think, like, one thing I'll give to the US, something about Los Angeles, it's the most comfortable place I've ever fucking lived. It was, every day is nice, good weather. You've got good food everywhere.
Vibe.
Californian vibe. It's good. I think the US in general is a very comfortable place. If you need something, you've got it. Like, you get it the next day by Amazon. It's a very, pampered in a way society. It's a very comfortable place, and so that frees you up to invest yourself more fully in things that you might not otherwise have the time for.
Be away from reality a little bit, maybe.
Maybe, but just invest yourself in whatever you might feel.
Yeah, because sometimes my friends from California, they comment on Middle East and they're so certain, and I'm like, why don't you just come around Middle East sometimes? Why don't you just live here and then comment?
Yeah,
or let's say like some people, some Americans, they move to Istanbul. They're in Beşiktaş or Kadıköy, and they want to comment for the whole Turkey. I'm like, why don't you just go to Kars and then we'll talk about it? That's something that's very strange for me. This exaggeration in comments and expression.
Definitely something that I felt there, and in the college, what was an interesting dynamic is, I'm white, so I'm white if I want to be, but I'm also the international kid. I'm from Turkey, so I'm like oppressed and shit. So like I had that like currency that I could pull the card if I wanted. And it was interesting being in a place that was very hyper, like socially aware, we want to be very sensitive to these other cultures, but you don't understand these other cultures at all. You think I'm Arabic. Like,
did they ask you something like that?
Ask me something like that.
Arabs and stuff.
I mean, I got comments. They thought, I'm Arabic. My American
look at the guy.
My American friends came to visit Turkey, and they were just like, it's really green here. I'm just like, yeah, what were you expecting? Like a desert? And it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, to be fair, if you've gone to America, you know, Camel cigarettes.
Yeah, of course.
They have a box that says Camel Turkish Royal. Like all of the Camel cigarettes are Turkish something. And the art on the box is the pyramids. Why? What?
Yeah.
So like again, very comfortable society. And it's also very isolated. It's really far away from everything. So I don't really blame them for getting a warped, very shallow conception of the rest of the world.
You're trying to be very nice, by the way. Like you're really trying to.
I
choose your words wisely.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of good American friends.
Wonderful.
I don't think
same here. Yes.
I don't think it's a bad place. I think there's some bad stuff in it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
like everywhere else.
yeah, like everywhere has its issues, and I like
true.
seing why things are the way they are. You know.
Yeah, certainly. And going back to COVID, let's say, I know that you started you were in Istanbul back in COVID time.
Yes.
How was COVID?
It was pretty nice for me at
Lockdown?
least. Because I have an addictive personality and I like gaming, and that's kind of like the golden ticket. Like you can't go outside, you have to game. I'm just like, okay, I'll do it. And Kemer, you know, while it has become a lot more urbanized, it is still, you know, near the forest. My house is in the forest, so we were quite isolated.
Yeah.
So I was pretty comfortable, thank God. Like I think I was very fortunate for my time in COVID. But yeah, I spent so much time just playing video games that is kind of what started my YouTube career. I felt like I need to make something out of this. Like I've wasted the last year and a half just doing nothing. I want to turn it into something productive. And as I said, before I was a rapper, I did music. COVID absolutely killed my passion for music. What stimulated me in the musical sense was being social. It was going out, dancing with people, you know, seeing how people react to music, getting your heart broken, getting horny, you know, all of these lovely emotions that you channel into your art. And so, I mean, during the COVID time, I watched a ton of YouTube, a lot of YouTube, and a lot of gaming analysis. And I thought like, yeah, there's definitely something I can contribute here. I felt like there was a niche that kind of wasn't really being talked about in game analysis that I felt I could contribute to. So that's kind of what started that all up.
I see. And is that the future for you?
For the time being, yeah.
I see.
I don't see it being the thing I do ad infinitum, but like for the next few years, yeah, I don't see why I would stop.
And I think you'll be moving out of Istanbul soon.
At some point, yeah. I'm looking at London.
So you'll be moving to London?
Yeah.
Any specific reason? Why London?
A familiarity. It's somewhere that I know. It's the place I was born and grew up. I have friends there, like a more social situation, and I can speak the language, and that helps. That does help.
Yeah, certainly.
And so yeah, I'm looking there, and it will be a interesting experience. I feel like the thing that has died the most for me here out of COVID, and the hardest thing to jumpstart again is the social life. And I feel like moving to London, at least just for a bit, will be a good way to kind of reintroduce myself to the world in that way.
How's your social life in Istanbul now?
Not good. It's not very good. Like I meet up with people once every 2 weeks or so, where it's like before it was every weekend, every day of every weekend, you know. I used to be very, very social. But
is it because you don't want to socialize, or is it because there's no opportunity of socializing?
It's a little bit of column A, bit of column B. There is opportunity to socialize, but I'm very comfortable. I'm very comfortable.
That's one of the things. Like I want to have friends, but I don't want to be talking to them every day.
Yeah,
that's kind of a thing we have in Turkey, in Istanbul.
Yeah,
modern life, I would say. Modern life.
Yeah, probably. Because I mean, the thing about modern life is like, thanks to phones, all of our friends are technically all around you all the time.
Yeah, that's something.
So
serious,
back in the day, you know, take every opportunity you get to meet Ahmed. I haven't seen Ahmed in weeks, but like if I can talk to him on the phone, then it's not as pressing of a need. It's like, you know, we'll meet sometime, whenever.
Nice. Ahmet, if you're watching this video, please contact him. He's
Been
waiting.
like months, dude. Where are you?
Dude. So yes, and about Istanbul, about Turkish culture. What is it? What is it you really like about Turkish culture? What is it you really dislike about Turkish culture?
Something that I think is very key to Turkish culture that I absolutely love is, although I don't speak it, I've interpreted it. The language seems to be very humor based.
Oh yeah.
People seem to be. Turkey is hilarious, man. Everyone is so funny, and everyone like. It's about just like the way you pronounce your words and just like the emphasis you put on certain things. And then people go, oh, and like everyone is just humorous with each other.
Yeah.
Like, and again, people are just real with each other, you know, like if you're having a bad day, whatever, like you'll express that and people will understand, oh, this guy's having a bad day. And they'll, you know, I really appreciate the kind of humorous take on just life. It's really, it's nice. It is nice. And just this familial, we're all in this together kind of thing. Like my dad hand sanitized so much that his hand like got really it got like really dried out and like cracked and stuff. And he went to an eczane and the person was just like, sanitizer. He just took out a cream and just like rubbed it on him and it's just like, this would be good. Do you want some? And that won't happen in Britain. That won't happen in America, where you go to a pharmacy and they're just like, yes, this, yeah, sure. And they just give it to you for free. And they're just like, I know what this is. Here, let me help you out. You can take this. Do you want to buy some more? Like that. Dude recognizes this guy's hands are let me help him out. And then, if you want to buy some more.
Right to the point.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. Like there's that kind of familial and just we're all in this together. Another example that happened a while ago is my friend, who will remain nameless, has illegal police lights in his car, police lights and sirens, and they just started going off, and he couldn't stop them. It was just like, fuck, what do I do? What do I do? And he was at a gas station. He's just stopped and he was trying to help, and this random person just walks by, and he's just like, "Are you having problems?" And he's just like, "Yeah." Just turns it off. And then just disappears and just disappears. And it's just like that, again, that's only in Istanbul, only in Turkey is that stuff going to happen.
Very friendly culture.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to get connected somehow.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that happens to me in Turkey. When I moved to Turkey, people are like, at the beginning of the conversation, it's like, okay, give me your number. And I was like, okay, here's my number. So I guess everybody in Turkey has my number right now. Guys, call me anytime.
I guess you're just a player, though. So,
but I had this one really weird experience where somebody actually asked my number, and that was the weirdest thing I've ever experienced about this phone exchange. They got my number, and then the next day we exchanged number basically. The next day I checked, and the person actually blocked me. So it was like, ask my number to block me.
That's pretty powerful.
Like, can I have your number to block you?
That's a power move. I like that. I respect that.
It's an expression, you know. I want to block you. Can I have your number for it?
That's a good move. I'm going to do that to people. That sounds funny.
Yeah, so that's what happens sometimes. Now, in Istanbul, what is your favorite district of Istanbul? Any favorite neighborhood district in Istanbul?
I mean, I am partial to Göktürk and Kemer, of course, but
can't say you love Göktürk, right?
Not anymore, but I love what it used to be. Okay. But I mean, I like walking around Taksim Cihangir area. It's really, it feels like you're in the heart of it all. I love that. Nişantaşı. That's. I mean, I had one of my best friends like lived there, so I spent a lot of time in Nişantaşı. So it's very familiar to me. I'd say those places, kind of the heart of the city, and then Göktürk.
Nothing from the Anatolian side.
That is a regret of mine. I have not spent much time on the Anatolian side. Like I said, my grandma lives here. I come to visit her here, but I
think you should.
It's not like the thing. Getting here today was like an hour and a half drive, so it's a bit of a send to get all the way here to walk around and like see stuff. But I've been to a couple of friends' house here, and it's really nice. It's quite nice here.
Yeah, it is. It is really nice. I mean, the vibe and the culture. Kadıköy, you do music.
Yeah.
And many people here in Kadıköy, they do music. Rap. There's a very strong rap community in Kadıköy as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, sure. So, Is there anything you would like to say? Anything more you would like to say? Maybe you would like to talk about your art a little bit, about your work. Would you like to introduce your what you do, your YouTube channel? Yeah.
I mean, I'll plug myself. So, yeah, I'm Nero the Sky on YouTube, and I do mostly in-depth video game analyses. Kind of my focus and what I felt was lacking in a lot of video game analysis on YouTube was mechanical storytelling. When it comes to video games, broadly speaking, there's the systems and the context, or what you might say, the gameplay and the story. And when people are analyzing the artistic merit of a game, they're usually focused on context. What is the story? Where the mechanics are, in a good game, just as important, and they are reinforcing the context. It's truly like, it's about the interplay between the context and the mechanics. And I felt most people would say, like, talk about how the mechanics lent themselves to a fun experience, and then talk about how the story lent itself to an artistic experience, or the context lent itself to an artistic experience. When, no, the mechanics interplay, it doesn't just need to be about fun. How are these telling the story? How are these supporting the context? And so a lot of my videos at the moment, I don't have many videos, but I have 2 pretty long Devil May Cry videos, because that game, DMC5 in particular, is so good. Play it, all of you. Play all of them. Play every Devil May Cry game.
Devil May Cry.
Play Kingdom Hearts as well. It's wonderful. But that game is kind of such a shining example of telling the story through gameplay, or supporting the context with the systems. So that's kind of what I've been.
Or you can play GTA.
Play what?
GTA.
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 GTA, Besh. Yes. Very good.
So, to many of our friends from different countries, they've never visited Istanbul. Do you think they should?
Yeah, of course. Everyone should visit Istanbul.
You wanna tell them why?
It's fun, dude. It's really fun. It's really fun,
yeah.
And it's honestly the most beautiful city in the world. Like that. I mean,
really? Are you saying that?
I mean, Rome is pretty nice looking. Rome is really cool. But like, I'm sorry, there's no landscape scenery like Istanbul. When you're driving on the motorway and it's just hills of people as far as the eye can see, and there's something magical about that. I absolutely love it.
Nice. And very soon we're gonna experience a music festival here in Istanbul together.
Damn right.
This weekend. We're
gonna go
probably
hard.
Once while you guys are watching this, we've already been to that festival.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
How long does these things take
every
to come
Monday. We do it every Monday.
We're gonna be so hungover by the time this comes out.
Yes, nice. Any last message for Aylin? Since Aylin, I'm sure she's going to be watching this. So maybe anything exclusive for Aylin.
You're great, Aylin. We miss you. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say. Thank you so much for having me, man.
Thank you
for
coming over. It was very much nice having you, talking to you. And I hope we can have you again.
Oh, excellent. I'd love to come.
Great, wonderful. Thank you guys for listening. Please send us mail, info@metotalk.cafe. Subscribe, Apple Music. If you guys are not listening to us on Apple Music, try Apple Music, Spotify, comment. I love you. I read your comments. Sometimes you guys are so mean, but I love you. I mean, I love you anyway, really, honestly. Gerçekten sizi seviyorum ben. See you guys. Take care of yourself. Have a good day. Bye-bye.